It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Let's talk about adrenaline rushes today, and let's talk about the NBA draft for a second today, and let's talk about this to start with on the podcast today. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I mentioned it a couple days ago. It sparked the top 5 menu items at a fast food restaurant discussion. Oh, man, the apple pie, the fried apple pie is back for a limited time at McDonald's. Came back today. I'm recording this late Tuesday. Came back on Tuesday. It's my favorite menu item of all time, fast food wise, and I was reminded today why it's so great. They're insane. I love an apple pie from McDonald's regardless of if it's fried or the baked ones, but the fried ones are so much better than the baked ones. It's just, if I had unlimited money, and I don't even care about, if I had unlimited money, I don't even care about the caloric intake and turning into a big Jabba the Hutt. I don't care. They're that good. They're so good. So I'm now, going to be pinching my pennies, saving my pennies, searching around to buy all of the fried McDonald's apple pies. They are so good. I think they're just over $2 for them. So yeah, go try one, go get one. This is an unofficial sponsor for tonight's podcast is McDonald's. The fried apple pies are back and they are so good. Weird night tonight. We'll get into the thing that fired me up and has me energized at 11:05 in just a little bit. But the NBA draft, there was so much NBA news today, it was crazy. So Mike Inori is the new head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. Don't know much about him. He was an assistant coach for a bunch of teams for 17 years, and he's the head coach of the Blazers. Okay, I wish we had got Tiago Splitter, who was the interim coach for the last half, at the end of the rest of the year after Chauncey Billups got busted for gambling stuff. But whatever, Mike Inori, new coach. The NBA draft was tonight. Blazers have 0 picks in the entire 2026 NBA draft. First round, second round, 0 picks. And so I had a hard time getting excited about the NBA draft outside of seeing like where the big names would go, because that's really, I guess that's kind of all that matters. Like I am excited to see what DeBonsa, I don't even know how you say his name, AJ DeBonsa, the BYU kid. I'm excited to see what he can do in the NBA with the Wizards. Darren Peterson, I've heard so much about how he's so smooth and he's going to be on the Utah Jazz. So 2 guys who could be great are going to be on 2 crappy teams. And then I feel like every year, the main guys who come out are like these weird picks between 8 and 15. And in 4 years, we're going to be talking about Braden Burries, the guard from Arizona, as like the greatest scorer ever. Like that's the weird thing that happens. One of those guys just blows up. So anyways, I didn't really pay attention to the NBA draft, just kind of on and off. And that was a weird feeling, but the Blazers had no picks. The main basketball thing today, and this was just every time this story rears its head, I bite, I get excited, I lose sleep, I daydream forever, and I just, it's like would be the greatest sports thing of my life in the last 20 years, and it never happens. But Adam Silver was on the Dan Patrick Show today, and Dan Patrick talked to Adam Silver about NBA expansion. Now, my favorite sports team of all time is the Seattle Supersonics, edging out even the Seattle Seahawks, who I love to death. And that's the team, because they've been around my whole life. The Seahawks are definitely the sports team I know the most about. I just love them. I consume them. And then in my heyday of doing sports radio and all of that, the Seahawks were doing well. And so I was really in with the Seahawks. I just know so much about them. Now, the Sonics are my childhood. I love basketball more than anything. And so they're just like, they're my team. I wore Sonics. I wore a Sean Kemp Sonics hat, I think, for 3 straight years every day. Like I love the Sonics. And I did doing the radio. I'm so thankful for this. I got my own sports radio show at a very young age when I shouldn't have had one. and it was the Sonics were still a team. And I talked so much Supersonics on the radio, and everyone who listened hated the NBA. And so I would just talk to myself about the Seattle Sonics. And I was so sad when their team moved to Oklahoma City. That was the first time in my radio career talking Sonics almost every single day. The first time that anyone cared was when the Sonics got sold. And it was so funny because I had talked Sonics so much and nobody cared. But the second something that they had was gone, they were like, wait a second, I love the Sonics. I'm like, no, you don't. I talked Sonics for 3 straight seasons and none of you guys called. And now, and all I would get was people like, why are you talking about the NBA? The NBA sucks. The second the Sonics were gone, all those guys were like, why would they get rid of our team? It was, anyways. Adam Silver said on the Dennis Patchen show, on the Dan Patrick show, that, let me read some quotes here. This is from Adam Silver, NBA commissioner. If we expand at least, we're thinking 28-29 season. That's so close. I mean, I just got to get through 26-27 next year, 27-28, and then the Sonics are back. Okay, I'm already there. So in March, the NBA Board of Governors approved to explore expansion offers in Seattle and Las Vegas. So there's approval to look into it and do the research and figure out what's going on. That's exciting. Adam Silver went on to say this on Dan Patrick's show. The only 2 cities at the moment we're looking at are Las Vegas and Seattle. We haven't had a vote on it. It's not a foregone conclusion, but we're in the process of talking to groups that are interested in getting an expansion team in those 2 cities. You think there's some people who want NBA in those 2 cities, the gambling capital of the world, and a city that had its team taken away and since then has been the home of a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and people have been able to see how the city of Seattle has rallied around the Seahawks and blown them up, and they're the hugest deal. The city loves sports. The Northwest loves sports. People want the Sonics back. There's a lot of money up there in Seattle. Bring the freaking team back. For the love of the Lord, bring the team back. That day, I will cry. I will do a podcast that day, and I will cry on the podcast because of how much I love them and how excited I will be. And I will then buy my children all Sonics gear. I will get Sonics gear, and it will be my childhood dream come true of just continuing Sonic cheering. So anyways, that news came out today, and I just, as much as I love the Portland Trailblazers and have poured into them since the Sonics left, man, I'll jump ship faster than anyone ever has jumped off a ship ever to get back on the Sonics bandwagon. The Portland Trailblazers have been a love of mine since 2009, a major love. I've watched so much Portland Trailblazers basketball. I love them. I've gone to games. I love them. But I know in my heart of hearts, and I've always known, they're a placeholder until the Sonics come back. And when the Sonics come back, that's it. I'm every night. I'll be there every night. KSKN, CW, Channel 22. Get me back in. Okay, so there we go. That's what's got me fired up in the NBA. The thing that I wanted to end with today, and I won't linger on it long, Tuesday nights for me, Monday nights are basketball, Tuesday nights are my Dungeons & Dragons night, when I get together with a group of 4 of my friends, and the 5 of us play Dungeons & Dragons. Right now I'm running a campaign. It's been very interesting to learn how to do that side of this game that I love so much, and it's been interesting. Tonight we played at my house, and I will tell you, basketball 1A. When I get done playing basketball, I am riding an adrenaline rush and a high that makes it so I can't sleep for hours. So last night, played basketball. We got done at 10 o'clock. I know for a fact there's no way I get to bed before midnight. No way. Because I get home like 10:15, and I run through every game. I run through the highs, the lows. It fires off all of my endorphins. Is that the word? It's dopamine. It is the drug for me. And I get done with basketball and it leaves me just so high. I love it. So other things do that. Like if I go to a movie at a movie theater, I leave it and I'm kind of excited for a little while. If I go to a sporting event, I leave it, I'm pretty excited for a while. Not like crazy, but like it just gives you a little bit of, man, for the next 20 minutes after I leave the event, I'm thinking about it. Dungeons and Dragons rivals, it's not really close to basketball, but it's up there. Like we got done tonight, and for instance, we got done at 9:10 tonight. Everyone leaves the house. We're standing outside. We kept talking about what we had just done in the game until 9:35 outside in my driveway because it's just your brain's whirling. And then I came back in, and for the next hour, I just thought more about it. I'm writing down notes, and it gives me such a rush. I think it's so fun. I've talked about it before on here. I think it's an unbelievable hobby for creative types. And I've learned a lot running a game. So I come up with the scenario of what's happening, throw scenarios at the players. They decide how they want to interact with the ideas and story threads that I'm throwing to them. And then we build this story together at the table. And so like I planned this weekend when I was planning tonight's session, I'm like, okay, here's an idea that I've got for like a little sabotage action on my party. And there's a main bad guy. And like, he's going to try to have people, he's going to put a bounty out on the players on their head. And they're going to run into a group of guys who have got notice that there's a bounty on them, and they're going to have to figure out, like, they're going to either to fight them or whatever. And they figured out a way out of this situation without fighting them, and it's just very fun, and it's a thinking thing. The game itself is fun, right? You roll dice, so there's mechanics to the game, but there's such a creative aspect of creating this united story at the table that it's just a fun mix. So, and here's something that I want. I think growing up, D&D gets such a bad rap. It's nerds, ultimate nerds. What a bunch of losers. It was that mindset. I'm a jock who had to be like a closet. I talked to my buddy Walter about it a lot. We're jocks who had to be closet nerds. He and I both like Star Wars, and it was like, well, you're a jock. You don't get to like a nerd thing like Star Wars or some nerdy video games like Final Fantasy. You don't get to do that. And it was just a weird, sucky time to be part of that. So it's just fun to get to. I know it's fun to play Dungeons and Dragons now. It's something that I wouldn't have done in high school because I would have been so worried about the perception. Ooh, the evil game. Anyhow, one thing I want to offer, and I would offer this to anyone. If it has ever been something you were even a little bit interested in, even a little bit, and you want to try it, and you've never tried it, or maybe you've done it like one time, a long time ago, whatever it may be, reach out to me. I am more than willing to run a game for you, even just for like 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, up to 3 hours. Past 3 hours, it gets a little bit too much for my brain. But I'd be willing to do that for anyone, just like if you wanted to do that, to experience it, to get to try it. And you may leave going like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done. Or you may leave going, this is really cool. I want to do more of this. But I would love to do that. My wife's out of town a lot. We'll travel. And so I've got some nights, normally like at least one night a week where I'm here in the house by myself. And I would love to get online. You play online and love to run people through an opportunity to play this game. So that's my pitch for you. If it has ever been something you're interested in, reach out to me. If you've got one or two people who want to do this with you, even if you just want to do this by yourself, the experience isn't the same if it's just one person and me. But if you have like 2 or 3 people, that experience gets better. But I would do it for just one. If you want to experience what it's like, I would run it for you. So that's just my offer out there to those of you who are interested in that. If there's weirdly people listening in Lexington who want to try it, I'd even be willing to run it live. Come over and I'd run it live. Okay, that's it. It gets my endorphins flying. I was going to talk just NBA tonight, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, we got done with the session. I came in here to record. I wanted to talk NBA, but I'm still riding this high of the game we just played at the table that I wanted to talk about it. So that ended up being 3 minutes to 4 minutes of Dungeons and Dragons talk. I didn't even plan on it. Every Monday and Tuesday night when I record, I could pick up basketball. I could break down D&D. And I'm going to try not to since we're doing the streak. But just know that when you listen to the Tuesday episode and the Wednesday episode, my brain during recording was on basketball and D&D. All right, thanks for listening. I think that's 8 in a row. Oh, baby.